I know that you guys are working on a bill that would change up the board of the PERS system, which seems, pretty, I guess, standard just to do something like that. But tell me how that affects the people who are currently in the PERS system. What do we need to know about how it changes, or what does that do to it?
Okay, so since it's a House bill, I'll start it, and he can tell you what might happen to it in the Senate. So the objective is to solve the PERS problem. The estimates that I've seen is that PERS is $20 billion in the hole. The Lieutenant Governor says it's $25 billion in the hole, and he's extremely smart and knows a lot about numbers. So if he says $25 billion, that's probably closer to right. The current board did not make the problem by itself, but they're not doing anything to solve the problem. And, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, I like the idea that you're changing the board, because while I really like my football coach, he really don't need to be down there making decisions about money. So, and I'm not saying they're not good people on the board, but their capabilities are not what we need. That we need somebody that understands financial situations like this, that can bring solutions, that can come in and if we need to change the law, tell us what we need to change. The legislature does not need to be in charge of PERS. We don't need that. That's the worst possible scenario that you could have. We just need to get a professional board that's appointed by the governor, lieutenant governor. Leave one person on there specifically what it does is it allows the governor to appoint 4, the lieutenant governor will appoint 3, the state auditor and the one of the other state officers that deals with financial stuff would still be on the board.
Those treasurer, maybe?
No, the treasurer and somebody else that deals with money. Anyway, those 2 guys would stay. They're on the board now. They would stay on the board, and then one person would be elected from the retirees. One person would be elected from current employees. So it's an 11-member board, and having the people that are appointed have to have qualifications that would make it so. Then that would make the board a lot better, in my opinion. It would all the other things that the bill would do would be to stop the. Right now, the current board has put it in to where they're going to go up a total of 10%, 2% a year for 5 years, which will drastically increase school taxes, city taxes, and county taxes. So the average person out here who has nothing to do with PERS will see their property taxes go up a lot. And even the retirees will see their property taxes go up a lot. So we just need to solve the problem. We can't let it keep going like it is. We've got to do something to solve the problem.
Absolutely.
My turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Senate we agree with what the House is trying to do, first off. We just need to make some language a little clear in the bill, so I expect an amendment. I'm not the chairman of that committee, so matter of fact, not even on that committee that it's being assigned to, but I know the chairman very well. The first thing we're going to do is make sure that any state employee or any retiree keeps the exact benefits they got. They'll still have the COLA, they'll still get their 13th check. All of those things, we want to make it very clear in our language that the COLA does not change, and that people don't have to worry about, am I going to get my 13th check? That's what most people are upset over. They're afraid a new board may come in and make all those changes. First off, the board doesn't do that. The legislature does that as far as the COLA, which is a separate code section. But I understand that we can add it to this bill saying that it will not change. And I think the House would agree with that 100%.
Right.
It's just not clear in the bill. We want to make very, very clear to all the employees and all the retirees that we have a contract with them. This is the way the state does. A lot of people kept their job instead of taking maybe a job that pays a little bit more because of the defined benefit plan that we have under the retirement program, which is a great program. And state employees aren't paid as well as the private sector. We all know that. So we have to out benefit some of them, and we've done that. And we want to make sure that it stays that way. A lot of people are offered jobs and they'll say, well, I only need 3 more years, or I only need 2 more years. And then I can change jobs if I want to, but I want to make sure I get my COLA each year, so, and my retirement, and make sure they're vested. So that, excuse me, got a frog in my throat this morning. We want to make sure of that first. As far as the appointed board, there's several reasons for that. I'm sure the reason being, as Gene said, we're talking about an account that had $32 billion in it. But we also know that as far as the loss last year, it was $20 million loss last year on our investments. So we want to make sure that we keep that close to 30 plus in there. We're, as he said, about 25 billion short. Billion and million gets confusing sometimes, but 20 million or 25 million is a lot of money. I wish somebody would give me that much. I wish I could win the lottery and get it. But when you talk about 32 billion, 20 million is not that much. I kind of sound like the Texas A&M athletic director when they said, what did he say on Jumbo Fisher? He said, oh, it's only 86 million. That's not much to us, to buy out his contract, because they've got so much money with 70,000 people on campus, but it's a lot. It's a lot to Mississippi College, Southern, and Ole Miss or State or Jackson State or wherever. That's a lot of money. So it's all in perspective. But anyway, we want to make sure that we have qualified people also on the board. I don't know what the chairman's going to do. I have no idea at this point. The bill's just coming to us, but I expect that we'll have appointed qualified people that are money managers, whether they be investment bankers, tax attorneys, those type people. We don't want the board to be a popularity contest like, hey, I know Sam and George, I'm voting for them. Does Sam and George really know anything about investments, that type deal? So I agree, and I think the Senate agrees that some of the members should be appointed. We may want to increase the number elected. We want to make sure that some people that the elected people, more than 2 or 3. I think our idea is to make sure that the retirees are represented by a retiree, that the employees are, represented by a current employee. So I think we're going to try to do a mixture of both and send it back. I don't know that. I'm not the chairman. I do know the chairman, and I've heard talk. And so I think we're going to try to do a mixture of that and send it back to them, as well as making it clear that you will get your 13th check, because the law says you will and you will. So some other things may change, but that's not going to change. I can tell you right now that the bill will die. I can tell you the bill will totally die before we don't have something in there about people making sure they get their COLA and the 13th check.
Sure. Well, and hearing y'all talk about this, I know it's important to a lot of the people that work for the state. What does my future look like? Because it's been a subject of discussion, what's going to happen to PERS for so long. So addressing this is going to be a big deal, I think.
I used to be chairman of the finance committee, and Haley Barber was governor at that time, and Haley wanted to totally restructure it. I mean, matter of fact, he wanted to privatize basically, and I wouldn't do it as chairman, and because then I was afraid something would happen to the 13th check or whatever, and I did suggest some changes that didn't pass, but I suggested a lot that did as well that really helped the retirement system. But it's by no means broke. Let me say that we've got, like I say, the last I saw was 32 billion with a B in reserve out there. I asked when I had a hearing when I was chairman. A lady named Pat Robertson was the director of PERS, and after everyone had asked all their questions, I said, I don't want to be like Columbo, but I do have one more question. And my one question is this: if no one paid another penny into the system, how long would it be before we go broke? She said 20 years. Then everybody started feeling better. But we got to look beyond 20 years. And I say that because of the changes that are being made. That's why we're doing it, because we are looking beyond 20 years. But also there's another, I'm not sure it's in the House bill about a fifth tier. Is that in there?
No.
About new employees? We'll probably, I don't know this, but we'll probably put a fifth tier of retirement. And that fifth tier will be for new employees. New employees will not have the wonderful benefits. I expect this to happen. I don't know that it's going to happen. I don't know if it'll even get out of committee. But the new employees, I think, will be able to invest their money in different ways as far as retirement, whether it be a 401k or in the state, or maybe half this and half that. I don't know what's going to come out. But the new employees will not have the same benefits, I don't think, as the current employees. So the new employees, we hope, will be able to pay a little better too. So,
Sure.
and so their retirement should be more than the starting ones that started 25 years ago.
Good deal. Any response to that from the House side?
No, we just need to solve the issue. And I think the biggest issue is getting a board in there that can, like he's talking about the fifth tier. If that's the right way to do it, or if we need to do it in another way,
That's right.
let the professionals get in there and tell us what we need to do.
Good call. All right. So another thing that we've talked about a little.
Can I say one more
Go
thing?
ahead. Sure.
What's really got our attention, we found out that we're paying these people to advise us. We lost $20 million, and we paid these advisors $100 million. Is what we lost, paid to them last year, $100 million. And we're paying someone $100 million to lose money. Come on, something needs to change. That's obvious, and so by having some very qualified people on the board, I think will really help. Where they may say, I think you need to put your money here. Someone that does that for a living every day may say, no, you shouldn't. We shouldn't do that, and here's why. That's what we're looking for. But we do want to make sure that people are represented with their representatives as well. So it's a little bit different, but it's going to, we're going to meet in the middle somewhere. And we're working toward the same goal. Actually, we won't even be in the middle. I think we just got to get there. So,
Good deal.